Well, the Zulu Royal Family says the mourning period for the late King Zwelithini kaBhekuZulu has been concluded. It's been holding cleansing ceremonies at the Royal Palace.
It's been a year since Inkosi Khotame, and the royal family remains divided. Now let's discuss all this with Prince Mandla Zulu. A very good morning to our Prince, and thank you so much for joining us. So let's just start with the cleansing ceremonies. How many of them take place and how long do they go on for?
Good morning and good morning to your viewers. Thank you for the opportunity. Before anything could be done about the throne, there are some rituals that we have to observe as the royal house. So from the week that we are coming from of the 4th, we had the cleaning ceremony of the palaces. All the royal palaces had to be cleaned. Before that, there was a cleaning of intlambelo. So I don't have a proper word for in English that could be used for intlambelo, because those are things which are so traditional. And now what is left, there is the big one that is coming, of which you can use the word, it's like an ascension of the king, of our own ascension. Like, you know, the Christian, they have an ascension day. They have the big one that is coming, that involves the nation. That will be on the 2nd of July. After that, there's a cleansing of the throne, because before any king or the following king ascend the throne has to be cleaned.
Sure.
So now we are left with the two, because policies are done. Yes.
Prince Mandla, as you're speaking about the different cleansing ceremonies, as well as the significance thereof, in terms of being able to cleanse the royal household, the throne, and the like, I just wondered, maybe you can, educate us here a little bit. Was there supposed to be discontentment, as well as debates, as well as, discord amongst who's going to be ascending the throne prior to the cleansings being completed? Because as you're making reference to the cleansing, you can't ascend without the cleansing ceremony. And one wonders, was it even appropriate then for even to have publicly, even so, some of the discontent, as well as the, the conversations around who should be the next king before these ceremonies actually happen?
There's something that I have to clear. Okay, firstly, let me deal with this issue of the cleansing. The responsibility of cleansing, or all the rituals that have to be kept for the late king, they rest solely on the shoulders of the queens. That's the first thing that the public should know. And the second thing that we should clear, the issue of who should ascend the throne is a family matter. Because let me give you an example. The family knows my character, knows how I behave while the king was still alive. We understand what the tradition says, but it goes beyond the tradition, because we should understand that whether it's a tradition or a culture, it was not, people are not made for the culture, but culture was made for the people. So if it happens that there are some shortcomings, misgivings on my side, which are tainting my character as the person who's supposed to be ascending the throne, so that rests on the family to decide, am I capable? Am I fit to do that? After we have gone through the traditions and the culture, what it says, but I, as the person, am I the fit person for that? And let me give you an example. If I have my firstborn who's misbehaving, doing all the mischievous stuff, I cannot appoint that person to be next in line to head the family. So some of those things family try to protect. So let's not this is not for public consumption, because we have our own reasons as the family why so and so is not fit for this, why so and so is suitable for this. So unfortunately, some people, they bulldoze the whole process of engagement as a family, because I know they thrive when we are divided. To say, no, let us, because we are the senior members, we've been part of the whole royal setup, so now our voice or our word is the final word, of which that isn't correct. Because if we can check with the queens, have they ever said anything? Check with the prince and princesses who are born by the king, by the late king. Have they ever uttered their views? Unfortunately, nobody was willing to listen to them, because they use this this issue of who should ascend the throne, or of the real issues, for their political or personal reasons.
Prince, before we let you go, again, for the purposes of education, for those of us abangazi ukuthi izinto zisebenza kanjani, obviously izinto in the royal family azenzo normal ban. So then who executes the cleansing ceremonies?
Please come again. I couldn't hear that.
Who executes the cleansing ceremonies on the hierarchy in the family? Who is responsible for ensuring that they take place?
This cleansing ceremony, as I said initially, it is resting solely on the shoulders of the queens. As I'm speaking to you now, the queens, they know, and the other one, they held a meeting on the 28th. That meeting was involving even Queen Mazumu of the late King kaBhekuZulu, because they are the one currently, we say they are heading the family. But when it comes to the cleansing rituals, because this is their husband, we follow them. We cannot say, because I am the man, I'm senior in this place, and then I should take the responsibility. It doesn't work like that. The queens are the ones who are responsible to lead us on that part.
And very quickly, Prince Mandla, you know, as you're speaking about the queens being led, I think sometimes we forget the fact that the queens are human and they've lost a husband. How are they doing? And how are they taking all that is unfolding before them?
I would say to you, I'll be honest with you, it is very unfortunate, because we spoke to in the meeting that we held on the 28th. The queens, they poured out their heart, the attacks that they've gone through, and they said, for losing their husband, they are left vulnerable. Whoever wants to say, whoever wants to do whatever they want to do, they just do it in the palaces. And the utterances that have been going on publicly, emotionally, it's very bad for them. Even their safety is not guaranteed. So they're so vulnerable, I could say that.
You're saying that their safety is not guaranteed. Could there be potential death threats?
Not death threats, if I can say. I'll give you an example. Last year, there was Umkhos'Umhlanga that was held. They used the palace of Enyogeni without the Queen's consent, in such a way that Umhlanga, the reed was thrown at the gate of the palace. So we don't do things like that, because I believe in the whole process. They are the queens. They are the wives of the late king. Whatever decision, if we say the buck stops with the queens, because they are the first line of the royal house with their kids, princes and princesses. So obviously, whatever that happens in the royal house and for the nation, whether it's the ceremony, they are the first people that they should engage, say, this needs to happen. And then as part of the royal family, we advise where we could advise. But we don't come and force or impose ourselves on them or whoever. Nobody has the right. But unfortunately, what we see now, even some things that are being said by some people of the royal family, that's so unfortunate.
Well, Prince, it is indeed unfortunate, especially as Faith mentioned, that the queens are still human, you know, and they are too affected by all of this. But thank you so much, Prince, for joining us here on the South African Morning.